Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So in this video I'll be showing you how to initialize and use variables in Go. So basically there are two ways in which you can declare and use variables in Go. So the first way is by using var keyword. So let's define one. So to define a variable we just say var. We give the variable a name, so let's call it name. Equal to sign and the value, so let's say John. Now let's print the variable. So yeah, let's run. So as we can see we got John. Okay, so now fmt has a function called printf, so it's like similar to printf that I believe you have in C and C++. So basically what it allows you to do is, if for example if I want to say hi, my name is, then I want to use the name variable, I'll need to do something like this, and it's just very complicated this way. So for this reason you can use something called as the function printf. So what we'll do is we'll say hi, my name is, and now I want to put the variable name. So I'll place a placeholder. So just bear with me, I'll explain it. So I'll put %s and then I'll do a comma and I'll give the variable name, right? I'll run as and as you can see you get hi, my name is John. So basically %s is like a placeholder for name. So when Go sees it, it will consider this as a placeholder. Then it will basically replace it with whatever the variable that you have given. Now remember there are different placeholders for different types of variable. So %s is a placeholder for a string variable. You also have %d, which is a variable for a number. So I can say var age is 13. Okay, so hello, my name is this, and my age is, so here we can't say %s okay, alright, so we can't say %s here because age is not a string. So we say %d, which is decimal basically. Let me say no, it's not for decimal I guess, but it's for base 10 integers, right? So we save that and we'll run it and see hi, my name is John and my age is 13. So let's say if you change the placeholders. So for example for string I'll use %d and for integer I'll use %s. It will just go haywire and it will be like, why did you give me this format when it's not compatible with this type? It will also show you this printf format %d has argname of wrong type string, right? So that's that. Now if you want to see all the placeholders that Go has, you can come to this site. I'll give the link in description. This has a list of all of the placeholders that Go has. So for integer you have %d. If you want to show the sign, you can use %+d. Your bool, your %t, pointer, your %p, or you have for all of these variable types. Now let me get into variable types in Go. So in Go we have string, which is of course string. We have bool, which is true and false, right? We have int, which is integer, but we also have different sizes of int. So we have int 8, int 16, int 32, int 60, int 64, right? So basically these numbers denote the size of the variable. So int 16 can hold a greater value than int 8. Int 32 can store a bigger value than int 16, right? So this number denote the sizes, right? You also have uint. So uint, you have uint 8, you have uint 16, you have uint 32, you have uint 64. So uint stands for unsigned int. Basically it can only store positive integers, so you can't assign -4 for example to a uint. It only stores positive values. You have float 32 and float 64 for storing obviously decimal values. You also have complex 64, yeah, you have complex 64 and complex 128 for storing complex numbers. You have something called as byte, which is basically an alias for uint8, right? And you have run, rune, which is an alias for int32. So those are like the basic types in Go. Now coming back to variables, let's say I have a variable, let's name it test equals to 3, right? And let me print it, printf, I'll use printf. Test is %d because it's an integer, right? Let's save that, let's run it. We get test is 3. Now there's also another placeholder like %d, it's %T, which tells you the type of the variable. So I can say, rather than %d, I can say %T, right? I'll run it, and it'll say test is int because of course this is an integer. But what if I want to specify that variable test is uint, it's unsigned int, right? How can I do that? So to specify the type of variable, you can type in the type of variable after the variable name. So you can say uint, right? So you can say that, and if I run this now, I'll get test is uint. So you can also maybe do like int32, let's say. If you run it, it'll say test is int32. Now one thing to remember, whenever you define a variable and you don't use it, Go will throw an error. So for example, if I say var age equals to 4, if I save this and I run it, I get an error, age declared and not used. So that's one thing to remember, whenever you declare a variable, make sure to use it, or Go will get angry at you. Okay, you can also, if you want to declare a variable and assign it later, what you can do is you can just say var variable name. Okay, now here you will need to specify the type. So I can say var test int, right? And then later on I can say test is equal to 3, let's say, and that will work. Now other thing to remember, types of variable cannot change. So if I define a variable, let's say 4, and if I say test is equal to, let's say I just put in a string, it will give me an error that test has a type of int, so I cannot store a type of string in it, right? So variable types cannot change in Go. Okay, this is the first way in which you can define variables in Go. The other way is by using the method of colon equal to. So you can say test, you can simply say test colon equal to and the value. So you don't need to use var keyword, and you can run it. And let me just change this test as a value of %d and is type %t. Now because we have two placeholders, we'll need to pass test 2 times, so we'll do that, right? So test has a value of 4 and is type in, right? So this is the shorthand way. Now remember, you can only use this way inside a function. So if I want to define this variable outside of a function, if I do it here, it'll give me an error. So here you have to use the var way, right? So outside of a function, you will need to use var keyword. Now some cool tricks Go has is you can define multiple variables in one line. So you can say var first name comma last name equals to, let's say, John Green. Okay, so here let's say my first name is percentage S and my last name is percentage S, right? Let's put first name and last name, right? Save that, run that, and we get my first name is John and my last name is Green. So you can define multiple variable in one line. Now Golang also has something called as const keyword, which can be used to define the constant. So rather than var, you just simply say const, right? You can run it, it'll run. So basically a constant variable means that a variable which value cannot be changed. So later on I can say first name or last name equals to something else, it'll throw an error because it's a constant, it cannot change. So that's constant. Now one really cool thing about Go is if you want to so basically let's say if you want to define multiple variables, so let's say var name equals to John, var email equals to john@test.com, var age is equal to 14. So you have a lot of repetition of the keyword var. So like we did it in import statement, what we can do is we can just get rid of all of this vars. We can just use bracket, right? Hold on a second, and we can do this, right? Let's format. It's not formatting for some reason. So in this way, if you don't want to define multiple variables in one line, you can use this trick to get rid of repetition of var keyword, right? It's throwing me an error because I haven't defined this variable. So anyway, thanks for watching this video. Like if you liked it, subscribe if you loved it, means a lot, and we'll meet in the next video. Bye.